Hang in
Dude,
there. It
that
is. Smylie Kaufman for 61. Wow.
I'm Smylie Kaufman, and this is The Smylie Show.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of The Smylie Show. This one we've been teasing, and he's here. Xander Schauffele, two-time major champion, 9-time PGA Tour winner, and now a professional mover. It seems like you got your moving outfit on, moved to Jupe. How's that treating you today?
Yeah, it's thanks for having me. Figured I had to win a few more events before I can come on your guys' show. But yeah, the moving's real. We're trying to move into a new home here in Jupiter, and it's been a process to say the least.
Oh my gosh, man! There's nothing worse. It's great when you finally get settled in, but it does take some time. And I actually talked to one of my Jupe boys before this episode, and he gave me a little bit of insight. I was like, "Hey, man, you got anything on Xander we can bring out?" He's like, "You need to ask him about. He's a very deliberate eater, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to potentially explain or defend yourself because I was told it's slow. Do you?
Oh my gosh!
Where do you live on this fence?
Who is this? JT?
I don't know. Could be
Rick. I've had more meals with JT than Rick, probably, but it could be PC too. I don't even know who you try to talk to. But yes, I am. I don't know. We're gonna get in my eating habits. I've been told it's a great quality to have since I'm actually chewing my food before I decide to freaking hog all my food like Jordan Spieth.
Dude, that's bad. He gets it down quick, doesn't he?
2 plates to my one. I'll end up eating 2 plates, but it'll be like an hour later probably.
It's just science behind it. Just make sure you chew slow, you digest slow, or you're just taking your sweet time.
Maybe I just don't shut up. I just keep talking too much and I'm food in. But I've always been a kind of a slow eater. It really there's some variance there. Certain tournaments when you're ending at like 7 p.m. and you're going, it's like that. I dread those nights because I have to just slug food and then try to go to bed, and it's the worst.
Yeah, you're just trying to like have any sense of mental thought, and now you're got a fork and a big old plate of food, and you're just trying to get it all down. I get it. So we're not going to judge you here. I just wanted to have an opportunity for you to potentially defend yourself here.
Feels pretty judgy, not gonna lie.
And I was actually thinking about texting you the other day about this because I was going on a bachelor party. And I was the person that was supposed to go get cigars. And I'm not a cigar guy. I don't even know where to start. And I don't have a cigar guy to text. But I think you're the cigar guy. Like, do people text you all the time about like what cigars to get? Are you somebody that just smokes one type of cigar? Because you've kind of had a lot of experience lately with cigars.
I mean, I'll smoke anything.
Yeah, there you go.
Should probably put some context behind that. I'll smoke any type of cigar, I should say. For starters, that Whistling Straight, someone literally just tossed me a cigar in like a plastic. It was like I don't know, like a $6 cigar, and just caught it all in the golf cart and let that thing rip. And then growing up, I always smoked cigars, or I was always around people who smoke cigars. So
you like the smell.
So it's like a nostalgic smell to me. So, and then growing up, seeing MJ, I always earn it first.
Yeah, you definitely do. And that's part of the celebration. And the older we get, French Bulldog and Aussie Labradoodle, have they made the adjustment?
They are. My Frenchie's right here next to me. He got into at the rental property. He got into something the other night and something stung him in the face. So his eyes have been, he's got a weird, he's struggling.
Poor guy.
So I think there's just more things you can get into here in Florida versus on the West Coast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Snakes, alligators.
What's going on in Florida?
Yeah.
Toads.
Bugs, toads.
Bobcats.
Yeah.
Lizards.
Lots to take in.
You can catch those. We're out here in the wild.
Definitely so. Well, let's kind of get into the beginning of this interview, which is, I didn't know really where to kind of begin in this, but college seemed like to me a great place to start because everyone knows you obviously as the second-ranked player of the world, 2-time major champion. And we know that just didn't happen overnight. And you're the class of 2011 guy, went to San Diego State. But the one thing that I did learn in this is that you weren't at San Diego State all these years. You started at Long Beach State. How has this been? It has been covered. I didn't even know this.
Yeah, I went to Long Beach State my freshman year. I signed up with Ryan Ressa, who works for TaylorMade now, and I there was all these colleges I could have gone to. I mean, I wasn't really good, but I was a pretty good player going into college. And you know, just like whenever you go through the levels, you no coaches really know if you're it or not. So I ended up going to Long Beach State my first year. My dad and I figured it's really important for me to play tournaments and not like SDSU was like, I think that's when they made it to like quarters at Riviera. So they were ranked like 8th in the nation. And it was a huge concern to not get any playing time because everyone was so good and everyone was so much older. So my dad and I, we literally picked this school where he thought I would start every event just so I can get some experience. And that ended up paying off pretty well. So I go to Long Beach State. Ressa leaves after 3 months. I'm heartbroken. I still give him. I see him on the range today. I still give him crap for it.
Would you have stayed there all 4 years if he didn't leave?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, my dad was my swing coach at that time, and Derek was I just started working with Derek when I went to SDSU. So I basically just had my dad, and it was an 1.5-hour drive. So I felt like it was far enough away, but close enough for me to get the work in that I needed if I needed to go home. So he ended up leaving though after 3 tournaments. I ended up transferring back home, and then, I'm closer to my dad, I'm closer to family,
right?
An 1.5 hours closer. And then I started working with Derek when I was at SDSU, sort of my senior year, which helped me a lot. And then the rest is history. So I mean, it was kind of a slow, steady drip. I didn't really like win a lot of college tournaments. Had the likes of, I mean, shoot, the 2011 class. It's insane. It's easy to get forgotten in that class if we just start with like the top 3 or 4 names. So I kind of just kept my head down. I knew that I was on a slower trajectory, slower path, and that was always my mentality sort of in college. Like, I'm going to take every single year to try and get better. I went to school my senior year, missed second stage by 6 shots, went back to school my senior year because I was like, I am not ready for this. My caddy, Austin Kaiser, we played together there. So ended up picking him up to loop for me my 5th year out of college. And then it was go from there.
Yeah. And I think it was a smart decision to go and play at Long Beach. Say you were freshman of the year, first team all Big West. And then San Diego State, though, you said you're consistent, but 27 total top 10s and 19 top 5s is pretty dang solid in college. That's a guy that knows what he's doing. You won 3 times, but describe me Xander Schauffele, the college golfer, because we know Xander now is 5-tool player, not many weaknesses at all, but the college player, were there weaknesses?
Yeah, short game for sure. I mean, it would creep in. I mean, I would be the kid to hit 16 or 17 greens and shoot, 1 under or something like that. So learning how to score better. I'd say I would like classify myself as like more of a raw player. Like I would always try and hit it really hard for how small I was. I always worked really hard. That's sort of where the college mentality was bred for me, with like, no one's going to work harder than me. So obviously I skipped a lot of class, but I'd always go practice. It wasn't because I was like out drinking. It was because I was going to go practice. So that was my commitment there.
I'm a little frustrated with the All-American committee, though, because when I look at you breaking the scoring average at San Diego State your senior year, and your 3rd team All-American, like, can we like write a letter to the All-American committee? Like, why 3rd team? It was better than that.
And it's a whole chip on the shoulder thing. It all started way back there. SDSU is a small school, so I kind of learned how this stuff works. The Palmer Cups, the Walker Cups. I just kept telling myself, you're not good enough. Like, if you were good enough, you would have qualified for these teams. Like, you're such a fringe guy, and no one knows who the heck you are. You know what I mean? So.
Chris Cyborg, 39 years of age. Larissa Pacheco, only 30. Cyborg 2 inches taller. Equal measurement on the arm reach for these women. Slightly longer legs for Chris Cyborg. Touch of the gloves, and we are underway in our co-main event. Cauliflower.
No, it might be. Beautiful.
What a level.
Big kick.
How did she take Pacheco just ate it.
Wow.
Measured and controlled in her breathing. Oh, nasty left hand snuck over the top for Cyborg. Jaco, she will literally and figuratively smell blood in the water. Oh, there's a guillotine!
Another beautiful takedown, but she put herself right in harm's way. That is tight.
Good short elbow there.
Very nice.
Oh, good overhand right there from Cyborg.
That was a solid right hand.
Needing some punches.
Watch the back of the head, Chris. Watch the back of the head. First deep breath I've seen Larissa take in this fight. Just about 10 seconds ago. Nice takedown.
Rolls through onto an ankle, maybe. 15 seconds, and we're going to see some wildness. Yeah, of course
yes,
we are.
Both women landed there. They'll swing away to the final bell here.
9-46. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision. And now the PFL Superfights Women's Featherweight World Champion, Chris Cyborg.
The legend adds to her legacy. Chris Cyborg.
No respect for Xander Schauffele, no respect for the Mountain West. What are we doing here, guys?
I mean, it's all good. I think SCSU basketball put the mountain,
yes,
Mountain
they
West
did.
on the map there.
It definitely did.
It took a championship run there to showcase that, but that's what I had to do.
Yeah, and you were in that crazy class of 2011, and there was so many great names that have come out of this class. Jordan, JT, yourself. The list goes on and on of other players that did not make it. But when you turned pro, did you feel like you had something to prove to not only yourself, but maybe how you stacked up against the rest of the class?
I mean, the chip is always there on the shoulder, but turning pro. I mean, you remember it was really scary. Like the whole idea is just scary because I think even no matter how good of a player you are, you kind of turn pro, and then Q school is the most stressful thing ever.
Ever.
I went, and then like it's just gotten harder now too. Like there used to be like 31 guys at first stage, and then like I think my site was like 18 guys or 16 guys at second stage. And now it's kind of like not 21, and 45 or 35 or whatever, 40 or whatever it is. So for me, it was like 31 went through first, 18 went through second, and then 45 in ties. So I failed the first time. I won both first and second, my second attempt. And I'm like, dude, I'm cruising. And then I get to final stage in Florida, and I'm freaking out because I'm a West Coast kid on Bermuda. And I end up Stephen Fox, still think him to this day. He missed a putt on the last hole to let me and like 6 other guys in at tied 45th.
What?
And that's how I got my card. So like you talk about feeling like you need to prove something. I was just trying to survive. It taught me survival pretty quickly.
Where was that Q school at that final stage?
Honda Classic.
You and I both played it there.
Augustin, yes.
Was it 6 rounds for you too?
No, it was 4 for me. Luckily,
I did 6, and it was such a dang grind.
Yes, so
I missed by a shot or two, and it was. I remember getting home to wherever I was staying, and I just sat there in the car for like an hour and a half, and was just brainless. I had no activity going on.
100%. Yeah, all that for that.
All that for that. The famous Peter Malnati Corn Ferry Tour quote from it was actually in Portland on the 11th hole. And so might as well go to the Corn Ferry because we made it. Xander, you made the Corn Ferry Tour. You were there just a year. And I think a lot of people would think, oh yeah, Xander was on the Corn Ferry, breeze right through. But when you go back and look at it, you were the bubble boy. You were number 26, did not get your card, missed out by $900 dang dollars. Were you just dying on the inside? Luckily, there was Corn Ferry Tour finals, I should say, on the back end. But the immediate feeling right after a long season where you're playing is more golf than you've ever played, were you just like, man, that close?
So interesting. I was so giddy. I think when you if you just look at the year, it's like, oh, he lost his card, or he didn't get his tour card by $900. But to me, it was like, I was like 100. I made 20 grand up until like the last 5 events.
Oh, wow. So you really gave yourself an opportunity late.
Oh, right. I'm sitting, holy smokes. Thank goodness I have 4 more events. I mean, I was, Kaiser and I were in motel rooms, and I'm just trying not to show him how much I'm losing it inside, because he's making more money than me and I can't float myself, like this. That's kind of where my head was at. It was like he would only come on the road because he didn't have any money either. It was like he was coming on the road to help me, and I had to float him, pay for his rooms, travel, like the whole thing. And it was like I am drowning right now.
Okay. When you say that, I still remember like the one like the most important shot that I hit that got me over the hump to where I was now safe on the Korn Ferry Tour, to where I wasn't worried about going back to Q school. Was there a shot for you that you hit on the Korn Ferry during that last little 4-week stretch before the end of the year?
The stretch just was like, it started to become really comfortable. I was like, I think I had like 2 or 3 top 5 finishes, which just like catapulted me forward. Yeah. I didn't win anything, but it was like, I seriously hit this F it button where I was like, dude, I am losing my mind. I was missing cuts by 1, like trying my hardest to, and missing cuts by 1. So those are the moments where I was like, someone told me, if you're really angry, try to rip a towel in half in your hotel room. It is impossible to do that. It
is impossible. 100%. So, I would actually just opt in for the front of the car. When I get into it, just bang the dashboard. That was my deal. Now that wasn't for everybody. And I'm sure I paid a bill along the way of frustration from how hard professional golf can be.
It's something special, but no, I can't remember like a specific shot. It was more collection of 3 or 4 events, and then really close on the last in Oregon, and I didn't birdie the last hole. I like 90-degree lipped out my last putt to birdie to like get me to 24th or 23rd or whatever, or 22nd, and then I fell to 26th and sat around for like 6 hours and wasn't even phased. I was like, this is it. Like, I'm happy to be here. Like, I'm moving forward. Like, I'm gonna get my card here in a couple weeks.
At least it's nice that they had that opportunity back then. Now Korn Ferry Tour Finals isn't a thing. Cards keep on getting cut down, so it's getting a little more cutthroat now for that Korn Ferry Tour.
For sure.
Well, you do get your PGA Tour card, and I actually have a great video here, because this video drove me crazy, because this is in Napa. This is technically your 3rd PGA Tour start, but your 1st as a member. And I'm trying to work on my golf swing and showing a face on video, but in the background, here's first start of their PGA Tour career, Xander Schauffele in the background. And you know how much this video drove me crazy? Because I'm looking at my swing, and then I can't stop looking at yours, because I'm like, what the heck? How does he get his left arm in such a good spot? And it just drove me crazy. And then you got the cash machine of Jason Bone behind you, and now I'm like all messed up. I'm like, what do I need to work on?
What a video. I was like, dude, that's 100% you when you started that.
Yeah. That's me in the blue. That's you behind. Your swing's a little longer from what I can remember.
Yeah.
Like it almost gets past parallel there. Yeah. But if you really watch at the beginning of this video, watch Kaiser. This guy, first PGA Tour member start, cannot keep the head cover on the bag. Guy's just losing it over here.
Oh man, he's come a long way. And look, that's my dad there too. Look at that. Yeah. We got the whole crew right there. That's funny.
Look at that. He's trying to keep the head cover on. And let's go watch where the golf ball went. And there goes the head cover.
He's definitely a lot slimmer, I can tell you that.
Well, you made the cut that week. I actually went to the Vineyards on the weekend. They didn't let me play the weekend. So you got to a nice start compared to my second start of the PGA Tour calendar.
Together, both Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the 2 big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, hey, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Totally, I missed you pinching your own cheek because I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma will do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You eventually got it going because throughout the year, I'm looking at the FedEx Cup and I'm seeing where you rank, and it's like, okay, I thought, in a year where he finished third in the FedEx Cup, that he was a little closer than 135th heading into the U.S. Open at Erin Hills. But listen, here we are again, just like the Corn Ferry Tour, where you're out of it, and it was one event, like a top 5 to get you going. Erin Hills had to be the event where it had to prove so much to yourself. It's like, I can do this and I want some more of it.
Yeah, it was. I remember finishing. Sanderson was an off a secondary event, and I played really well there. I actually finished top 5th.
Yep.
And so ending the year, I was like, man, I'm a rookie. Like, finally, I'm off to a decent start. And I don't know what happened mentally, but it was I finished decent. I've made $200,000 now. I feel much more secure than I did on the Corn Ferry. And then the new year starts, and I remember, I think I got sick in the winter. I come back, my speed's way down. I'm a rookie. I'm having a meltdown, and I can't figure it out. I'm not willing to make the adjustments, and I just go in this spiral for a while, and I just start falling in the FedEx rank, and I'm like, this is literally what people talk about. And like you said,
this is my nightmare. This is my nightmare.
It's happening. Full blown. This is my nightmare. It was, and I didn't. 135th sounds right. So it's a weird spot. You're like a kid. You've made some money. You're not safe at all, but you feel safer. So it's a really weird feeling for you, especially coming off the Corn Ferry. A $200,000 is like winning freaking 3 events. You know what I mean? And I get to the Monday qualifier, and it was sick. It was for Erin Hills in Wisconsin. I get to play 36 holes with Steve Stricker, and this is kind of where my pro career kicked off in my head. I'm like, I get to play with Steve Stricker, who's going to bust his ass and qualify for this U.S. Open. Nothing's going to stop him. And it was so cool to watch him play and the way he played, because he got off to kind of a mellow start. And then he just, it was 36 holes, and he was, 1 over maybe even through 11 holes. And then all of a sudden he just goes on this freaking tear. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, holy shit, you know what I mean? I'm sitting there crying if I don't get off to a good start, all of these things. So that was such an important day. I ended up going into a playoff, a 6-for-4 playoff. The next morning, I ended up playing 40 holes. I'm toast. But Stricker pulled me aside after we signed cards and, gave me some really nice words saying, you're going to make, you are so good. I don't think you realize how good you are. You're going to be incredible. Just stay focused and don't let anything bother you. And I ended up getting through the Monday. I go and I get to Erin Hills, and all of a sudden we're on this, I play Memphis, don't even play great, super terrifying, water everywhere. It's still terrifying now.
Yeah.
Go to Erin Hills. It's wide open. Fairways are 50 yards across, just bomb driver on every hole. And I was like, okay, I can just lash out here. And I finished 5th. I was super nervous coming down the stretch. And then the next week was my moment where I secured my card. It was at the Travelers. I finished like tied 14th or something, or 13th. And I secured my card. And then all of a sudden it was like this, kumbaya moment where I was so relaxed and so just biggest weight off my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking Greenbrier, and I just win. Like I don't even. I'm so relaxed.
Yeah, that was 3 weeks later. You win the Greenbrier.
3 weeks later, yeah. And then
do you remember who you see that week right before Thursday? Myself, you, and Kaiser are fly fishing off of the second hole, because I remember, it was just me out there, and then all of a sudden you two show up, and I didn't know you guys at the time. It was just like, hey, I know your name type of deal. But you guys were having much more luck fly fishing than I was. I was my first time doing it, and I tell you what, it looked like some of the high yaws I've hit in my day, because it was a tough scene trying to get the rhythm down.
We also were. I mean, you're being so kind to not reveal what we did. We brought a spinning reel out.
Oh, you did bring a spinner. That's right.
We're not supposed to have, and we actually got yelled at by staff. We were under the bridge hiding.
And there's SK just like, I had no idea what I'm doing.
I think we had Big Wave Dave. He was on Campbell's bag at the time. And I think there's three of us. And in order to use the spinner under the bridge, it was like fishing with dynamite. So we had one of us sitting out there just as make it look like we're fly fishing, while two of us were sitting there catching everything.
Those rainbow trout, man, those things were so fun to catch. I would finish the round, go straight to fly fish, but I totally forgot you guys had a spinner. That is so good.
We were cheating. Yeah,
you were definitely cheating.
We got yelled at for it too. It's not allowed.
But you won though. Like, how sick was that? You won on the dang PGA Tour that week.
Super blackout. And like to just run through the events really quick. I'm in this like such a ho-hum place. I move forward. I'm in the playoffs. Holy smokes, I'm in the playoffs. I'm in the winners category now. I'm playing the last couple events of the year. I'm not teeing off at like 3 p.m. anymore. I was like, insane.
This is before we could tap down spike marks, folks. Remember this. Like the last part of the waves, it used to suck because you just are basically, you got no chance.
You're never going to finish your round.
Yeah.
I mean, your best luck was actually for it to get dark really quick. So at least you could play like 5 holes in the morning with a nice green.
Yeah, exactly.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The Seahawks, I expected a bounce back after that poor performance against Buffalo the week before. They took the Rams right down to the wire.
The Cardinals are the top spot at the moment. That's not going to hold. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are not going to win this division, but they are 5-4. After that, you've got the Rams, the Niners, each 4-4. The Niners, God willing, man. I mean, if Christian McCaffrey ever does come back.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Quarterly, I missed you pinching your own cheek as I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma will do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Together, both Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the two big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
And then go to the BMW. I remember I was in a good spot to get into East Lake. Didn't really know what it all meant, to be completely honest. And I was 3 or 4 over making the turn at Conway Farms. And again, like this thing clicked in where I just was like, I remember playing with Stricker. I was like, it's never too late to do something. And I ended up shooting 6 under on my last 9 holes. And it was like in a ridiculous way. I like hit a par 4 and 2, made an eagle. I was making like a different random 30-footer. On the last hole, it was a par 5 back right pin. There's like a bleacher really close to the green. I like nuke a wedge. It like one hops in the rough off the bleacher onto the green to like tap in.
Stop it.
I swear.
Stop it. Where was this?
At Conway Farms.
It was Conway Farms.
BMW. And I ended up shooting, I'm like 3 or 4 over, turn, shoot 6 under. I shoot 2 under to move up. And I end up like finishing like 22nd or something. And I get into Eastlake. And I'm like,
do you like that golf course, Eastlake?
It's been kind to me. Yeah, the new one not so kind to me. I think we're still working out a relationship. Need to get there a few more times to figure it out. But the place has been pretty friendly to me for a West Coast kid.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? Like you grew up on the West Coast. Bermuda, I'm sure, is something that like took a long time. You mentioned your short game at the beginning. That's something that's taken a bit. So I imagine chipping on grainy Bermuda was something that was not quite as easy for you. But your rookie year, dude, like I don't know why I don't remember this. Like as a rookie, dude, like you're 135th. Like we just talked about this, and now like you win the stroke play event in the Tour Championship. You finish 3rd in the FedEx Cup rankings, and it's like, holy crap, man! How did we get here?
Yeah, it's just, talk about getting hot is basically what happened. It was like you look at all pros, they kind of, for a long time, I really believe summer was my time. Like you're the summer soldier kid. Like this is where you're gonna this is where you're gonna shine. So I haven't really looked at all of my my golf and my stats and everything on times of year, but I do know like golfers definitely when you get hot, you really have to take advantage of it, because you don't when you're playing good golf, you're playing good golf, and you just really have to start stacking good shot after good shot and getting some sort of flow and not let anyone pull you out of it.
Yeah, and I would imagine as a guy who just won as a rookie at the Tour Championship, you're 3rd. Now expectations change, right? Like you just went from being a player that would have been happy to have their card the next year to now it's like, okay, like I just beat the best players in the world and I want to continue to beat them. Did you like change your expectations, or did you go to and say like, I need to get better at X? And a lot of times, Xander, players, when they go try to get better at something, they get worse. But it seems like, that didn't phase you too much.
I didn't want my expectations to change. I don't think it's such a subconscious thing. They changed. I was 135th, crying about, feeling sorry for myself playing poor golf. And then I win twice, and then I don't win again I played well through a certain spot, but like I was in my honeymoon phase of professional golf, and then I didn't win for like 2 years after 18, I think.
Yeah.
And it was completely because I was like, oh, I'm this isn't that hard. Like I'm good at I'm pretty good at this. Like I can do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's good to have that sort of mentality, but at the same time, it was not that I wasn't working hard. I just, when I get into tournaments, I was being too aggressive. I was just expecting things to go my way. All those small stuff that you definitely need to learn. And, I didn't really have the opportunity to learn on the Korn Ferry just because I had such a late run. And then I did it my rookie year again. Like I was like, it was either 0 or 100. Like I was never mid, you need to grind it out. It was like, you suck or you're incredible. So I learned a lot of that sort of into my 2nd, 3rd year on tour. And then again, too, people don't ever talk about being a rookie. You play a rookie schedule. I think I traveled 34 weeks my rookie year, played 30 or 31 events. I was in first alternate 3 events, didn't get in. And then my 2nd year I win. I'm in the winners category. Now I'm playing different tournaments that I didn't play. And then my 3rd year, now my ranking's high enough. I'm playing WGCs that I've never played either. So I was like, I'm playing new majors, like
constantly learning.
So like my first 3 years on tour felt like 3 rookie seasons almost.
That's interesting. And we're not going to dive like too much into every single one of these years, but what I do want to highlight is 2018 to 2021. These, when you go and look at Wikipedia's Xander Schauffele major record, it's pretty dang impressive what you were able to do between that time period. 8 top 10s, 5 top 5s. And when you look at that stretch, right, like you just talked about how you ran into a victory at the Greenbrier and Tour Championship, you get hot at the right time. During that stretch of golf for those 4 years, right, like did you feel like that you were, missing any aspect to just not get over the hump? Like a technical, was it mental, just experience? Because you were still playing incredible dang golf during that time period.
Yeah, I felt like my mentality sort of being in the dirt for such a long time, just trying to grind out each shot. Every time I missed a cut, I mean, I can comfortably say I've never mailed in a tournament ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not in my DNA. It's just how my dad raised me. I just, if I'm 5 off the cut line, I'm trying to make the cut with 6 holes to play. And even if I don't get there, I'm already trying to work on something for the next week because I don't want to waste any moment in a tournament setting. Like, it's just not how I operate. So I think all those moments helped me big in the majors because every hole, the whole cliche thing about like every hole is its own tournament, one shot at a time, like that's such major golf. It's not even funny. Like, that's exactly how major golf is. It's like
situational awareness.
Oh my gosh, it's insane, And so I think that really helped me early on in major. It just, the matchup was there for me at a young age even, and then for major golf, because it was every hole is so freaking hard. It's okay to make a double bogey sometimes, as long as you weather the storm. You can par your way in, and you'll still be in like 14. Yeah. Not like a shoot 'em up. You're 2 over, now you're freaking 12 back. It's like it's just different. It's just a completely different mentality.
And in those 4 years, was there a moment or a situation that you look back on where you think, man, if I just would have been a little bit more aware of how close I was and how easily Xander Schauffele now could have closed out that major championship?
Yeah, a little bit, but I felt like you're not going to luck your way into a major. I think you have to have all the shots. You have to be super comfortable hitting the shots under the gun. You got to make important putts. Like, you got to hit a certain distance. I had a lot of it, but I don't think I was really as good as I was mentally at that time. I don't think I was ready mentally either. I didn't really know.
Not picturing yourself being a major champion? Was it more that?
Because I was still trying to prove myself. I didn't really know what it all meant. And I was always like, everyone's telling me, oh, you're going to win a major soon because you've been playing so well in them. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I just feel like I'm playing my game. Like, I don't really feel like I'm doing anything more or less.
Yeah.
I just match up really well in the majors. And it was definitely like I wasn't sitting there every night trying to imagine myself holding the trophy, at the age of 22. It just wasn't like my game wasn't incredible. My short game wasn't great enough to clean up. I had to be too perfect off the tee and into the greens. I don't think I was chipping well enough to compete at a higher level, very much a mid-high level, but not the highest level. So it was some small stuff.
And so we talked about those 4 years, 18 to 21. So let's talk about 22 and 23. And you look at the major records in those years, I see, besides one miscut, you were between 10th place and 18th place in all of those major championships. And SK over here would have been absolutely thrilled for one of those. But I imagine after a stretch of golf that you just played the prior 4 years where you're in the top 5, you're in contention, you have a chance to win, 10th, 18th, that's just kind of hanging out on Sunday, like just trying to like work your way inside the top 10. When you finished 23, was there frustration of how you performed in the major championships? And did that lead you to wanting to improve and make changes?
Yeah, I was already kind of going through a little bit of coming out of COVID, my swing was like, even from that video you sent in 17, 18, my swing was much different than it got coming out of COVID. Like, I'm working with Chris now, but it led me to work with Chris because my swing was getting very like flat shoulders, very laid off.
Mm-hmm.
The club was going like a different direction. I was playing a lot of these little like par 4 San Diego courses during COVID when I was living there, and a lot of like low, like scared fades where you're kind of, and it wasn't doing it well. I was doing it because
I got that shot.
Yeah, the club was laid off, and I was kind of punching across it, trying to squeeze it, and then like all of a sudden it like bled into my game, and I was trying to hit my wedges better because my wedges were bad, but then I started hitting my driver terrible. I mean, it's like the classic, you said it earlier, I want to get better at something, and it made my entire like long game terrible. Became a really good wedge player, but it made my long game really bad. I didn't know how to marry the two. So it was definitely frustrating, but I wasn't as frustrated with my result as I was with how I felt about my game.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Totally, I missed you pinching your own cheek as I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma will do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Together, both Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the 2 big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, so how were you able to attack this with Comey? You go and he's very intelligent of how the body works and correct matchups. Mm-hmm. So you just talked about flat shoulders. Did you try to steepen your shoulder plane a little bit and then try to get the club in a little bit more of a vertical position versus laid off?
Vertical early. I mean, it was a nightmare. I mean, last
that
year,
sounds like a nightmare.
It was. I mean, Chris is great. I mean, I've known him. My buddy tried to seek out his help when he was in Dallas, 12 years ago. So my first time I ever talked to Chris on FaceTime was literally maybe 11 to 13 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. So known of him for a really long time. One of my really good buddies became pretty close with him. So he's always kind of been around, and I've kind of talked to him here and there. Never too much about golf, but aware of what he was working on with my friend and things of that nature.
Right.
So yeah, definitely he looked through all my swings of the last anything that I could give him, and try to see the patterns of, when I was hitting it pretty good, when I was hitting it bad, where the matchups are, what my matchup could be. And yeah.
What about speed with this? Did he help you come up with a speed program? Because you've obviously put on, your ball speed's kind of made a pretty significant jump this year.
Yeah, I think that was more, I mean, I don't know who to give more credit to. I've been asked that question a lot. I hired Chris and David Sundberg, who works with Pat, Alex Noren, and Jake Knapp now, and he's in Florida here. And I started working out way more at tournament. It was my first time I've ever worked out at tournaments. I just kind of said, F it. I need to work out at tournaments. I don't do it enough. So I was lifting weights.
How many times would you lift weights during the tournament?
I mean, if we could get one heavy lift in and 2 other kind of full body lifts in just for maintenance, we would. So, I mean, I'm sitting there lifting weights on, Wednesday and not afraid that I'm going to be sore on Thursday.
Right.
If I am, it's just part of what I'm trying to do because I'm trying to get better. So,
gotcha.
Off seasons go short,
They do.
David wants 12 weeks for my off season. I'm about to give him 6 weeks right now. So it is what it is. I don't know
hey, I'm moving boxes, David. All good, man. I'm working on, just some back extension.
Exactly. The club being in a better place, I think, helped the speed, and then me being able to put more force into the club just from being generally stronger. So they both helped a lot. And the speed kind of just came. It never really. Right. I've never done. I haven't swung a speed stick to this day since I've been with them in the last year and a half or 2 years. I haven't done it. So.
I've never missed a shot swinging a speed stick. I can tell you that. Well, on this podcast, this is back at Bay Hill this year. I was watching you probably 2 or 3 of those days, I guess. I was walking with your group. And I remember thinking to myself that I've never seen Xander have to like try to get into positions quite as hard as he's trying to right now. He's really thinking over the golf ball. And I could tell that it was whatever you were trying to do was not easy. And I told Charlie this. It was like the fact that he's like playing good golf with how hard he's having to work is pretty dang impressive. So whenever he gets comfortable with this, like it's going to be really dang good. For you, when did you feel like you could finally let off, take your hands off the steering wheel a little bit and just feel like, the body knows what it's going to do and mentally that you're able to do it?
That's a really good catch. Only a player would know that what we're going through here. And it was Hale was like maximum like grind to. There's water on. I mean, it's such a scary place to like hit your driver. I mean,
don't tell me.
You're like, wow, it's dogleg left to right wind, and there's a freaking hazard all left. If you hit your driver.
The wind on 6 this year was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. It was in off the left every day off the tee.
Oh yeah, anything, a yard left of your line, and you're in the hazard.
It's like sweet.
Slight toe ball, you're in the hazard. It doesn't matter. So
I'll hit a provisional. All good, guys.
I could have crossed, but it was Quail Hollow. Yeah, Bay Hill was maximum grind, uncomfortable, just trying to. If I hit it in the hazard, I hit in the hazard. Like whatever. Like I trust Chris. Like I think he's telling me the right stuff. On the range, I can do it. It's not really showing up on course because I'm not exaggerating enough. So Quail Hollow was the first time where I was kind of exaggerating the move, and I'm starting to hit some shots. I know I lost to Rory by 1 million, but
he would have beaten everybody by 1 million that day the way he played.
It was close for a little bit, It was a stretch where I was within 1 or 2, maybe, or 3.
Yeah, like didn't you eagle 6 or something like that? The par 5.
I think he eagled 10.
Oh, I thought maybe you like had a big moment like on 6. No,
I eagled 6. Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
He parted, I think.
Yeah,
or maybe he bird. I can't remember.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He won.
He won it by a lot at the end. He won by something. So. But I was starting to hit some shots at Quail. I'm like, dang, I feel like I haven't hit these shots in a long time or maybe even ever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of when it started to click in my head. And I know I got smoked and I was not happy coming up the last, but I was super excited because Valhalla was next week. And I heard that Valhalla is very much, if there's a course on tour that's close to Valhalla, it's Quail Hollow. So I was jazzed, and I was just trying to focus on what was up ahead, not what just happened, and that seemed to pay off quickly.
Yeah, because you went out and shot 60-0 the first round, because I was doing an outing on 18, and they just kept on updating your board, and it was just like, is that a – yeah, okay, Xander's playing good today. So definitely got off to a good start, and you were tied for the lead heading into the final round, and just another opportunity to go try to win a major championship. Did you feel as comfortable maybe in that position that you've had maybe in to that point in your career?
Yeah, I think I've touched up on that spot. Maybe I wasn't leading before, but I've been in the hunt at some point of a major championship sort of enough times. And I finally felt like my game was elevated enough across the board to where as long as I kind of keep my head on straight, bring some of that Stricker magic from that qualifier with me, like I'm going to get this job done. And that board was wild throughout the day too. I mean, it was crazy. Like I had the lead and then I had like a 1-shot lead and I wouldn't see a board for like 3 or 4 holes. And all of a sudden I'm 1 back and I'm like, holy shit. This is wild.
Oh my gosh. And well, the situation on 18, you knew exactly where you stood. And, as kids, right, we always talk about a putt to win a major championship from 6 feet away, and you had it. And was it easy for you to stay in your routine? And were all the voices quiet in your head?
They were. I was trying to control all the voices that I could, just with not really the subconscious, but like just consciously trying to tell myself what to think. What
did you tell yourself? Yeah. What did you say?
Just think like positive things around the lines of like seize the moment. Basically, like this is what you've wanted your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are in control of what's happening, and that's all that you can do, and that's all I could seriously wish for. I always joke about what I really want is it to be extremely boring. I want to have a 7-shot lead going up there.
Yeah, why wouldn't we?
Adam Sandler hockey stick this last hole and laugh about it with one hand. Like, that's how much of a lead I want, but you got to earn that too.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Importantly, I missed you pinching your own cheek as I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma would do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I didn't sit there and try and let the moment be too big. I was like, just stay in your flow. Like, don't sit here and try and take more deep breaths. Like, it's not going to change anything. So I kind of walked in and kind of went through it. And of course my hands were shaking. And of course I was nervous. And
yeah, right.
Luckily it lipped in.
Yeah, it goes in. And I know in that moment, there was all the emotions, but when maybe you got into the car and you got the trophy sitting next to you, were the emotions, was it more relief? We just talked about a span of golf of major championships where you're in contention, you didn't get it done. Or is it more just jubilation of just like, heck yeah, I did it. Like, where were you mental space wise when you had time to actually reflect?
Yeah, it was a little all over the place. It was immediate celebration, immediate, hugs and tears from family, and all that stuff was really overwhelming at first. I didn't really soak it in until, we had a few drinks at the place, drank out of the trophy, and then
it's a lot of drinks out of that trophy.
There's the ability for a lot, for sure.
There's ability for a lot. You need to bring me next time. I can help out.
Well, we would probably not have enough alcohol.
There we go.
About 5 a.m. I remember, Maya was already asleep. I'm like, I had to go use the restroom. I remember getting back in front of the mirror. I'm washing my hands, and I just I'm looking at myself in the mirror at 5 a.m. So tired, but I just remember this. I was so fired up. I remember looking at myself, just
like you
feeling
did
it. I freaking did it. I was like, you are a major champion. Like, this is real life. And that was probably my biggest moment I had to myself. And just like every other tournament, it's done. And then you just go to the next one. You just have to take what you can from it. And of course I was jazzed forever about it, but that was my big moment where I was like, freaking did it, kid. This is what it's about. So that was my big one.
I'd love to see the image of you in the mirror at 5 a.m. after a bunch of drinks. You painted the picture so greatly, but I kind of want to see what you actually looked like, 5 a.m. after drinking.
May not have clothes on. I'm not sure.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Well, did the win at Troon more so feel like validation to you? It's like, you just talked about the mirror, staring into it. It's like, man, I did it. This is me. Like I'm built for this. Did Troon feel like, what, not only can I do this, but I can, go on some type of run?
Yeah. I mean, I would have never done it. Valhalla that was extremely validating. Like, I know it's only one, and I know there's guys who have a million more, but that one for me, just because I've been coined, the best guy that's never won one. I'm getting in my head now about it. People, every time I go anywhere, people are talking to me about it. It's there, it's present. So that first one was extremely validating, especially it being so close, especially me having to birdie the last. And so by the time I got to Troon, it felt like I was this, seasoned veteran in the moment. But it was, maybe I built it up more in my head, which paid off for me. But the first one was the most validating, and the second was obviously extremely special. But the first one was definitely what helped me get into that mindset.
And the last question for you, Xander. I mean, you go from being, talked about as, one of the best players in the world to not win a major, and then now to winning 2 of those in the same season, and you're in the player of the year discussion if it weren't for Scotty also popping off and having Tiger Woods like ball striking numbers. Yeah. I mean, can you put it into words, and how can you just wrap your head around it?
Yeah. I mean, I've had a few moments now in this sort of off season. I really tried not to let myself relax too much before I was done with Japan. I know it doesn't count for it, but tournament golf is tournament golf to me, and I try to treat it the same, depending on no matter what event it is. So it's such a nice feeling. I mean, the fact that I'm able to now kind of kick back and relax with family, and even at the President's Cup, some of the boys were sort of, they were cheersing me on what a year it was, and that was an awesome experience as well. So overall, it's been, all sunshine and clear skies in the Schauffele camp, and definitely looking forward to more opportunities. And but I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm scared of the day where I'm not excited to go train, to go practice, to wake up, and to start to get going. And obviously the relaxing part is a lot nicer now that I'm old and 31 years old. I really love my job, and I'm very fortunate to be decent at it and to be able to play it. So
spoken like a true champion, and all is well for the Schauffele family celebrating all this. But Maya's not going to be very happy if you're not going to be around to help move here right now. So we're going to let you go. Let's put the French Bulldog and Aussie Labradoodle to work. And what are their names again, so we can thank them for your time as well?
We got Chewy, who's asleep somewhere. I don't even know. They're probably by the door because they love Mom so much. Chewy and Momo. Those are the 2
Chewy and Momo. So Chewy, Momo, thank you for lending us Xander Schauffele, 2-time major champion. And Xander, thank you for your time, and hopefully many more cigars to come in celebration.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, buddy. See you.
Together, both Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the 2 big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Totally, I missed you pinching your own cheeks as I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma would do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Hello and welcome to a Thursday live right here on the Early Line on Sports Grid and all across